I think it's safe to say that we all expected 2024 to be a crazy year. And let's be honest, it doesn't really matter what side you're on. We all know that all hell is going to break loose leading up to and after the next election. Now, personally, I have been anticipating another summer of love, but it doesn't look like these people are going to wait on summer. I don't know how many of you all are paying attention, but chaos is starting to break out on college campuses across America. These people are setting up encampments, much like the encampments that we saw in Seattle during the BLM riots, the autonomous zones. They are setting up zones on college campuses across America. Half the people who are participating in these protests and setting up these little zones aren't even college students. They're just anarchists, I guess, who want to take advantage of the situation and cause chaos. And we see this all the time. Now, if you think for 1 second that this is going to be just contained to these college campuses, then you are wrong. If you think for 1 second that these protests are going to be contained to just places like California and New York, Portland, you are wrong. They're already spreading on college campuses in Florida, in Texas, you name it. It is everywhere. It is not going anywhere anytime soon. And even though it is only happening on these campuses right now, this is how these movements always start. You see these ideologies that promote a lot of the stuff that these people are so-called fighting for. These ideologies are spread in college. They're spread by the professors. Everything we're seeing right now, this is a direct result of these colleges brainwashing these kids and promoting these wild ideologies to these kids. They have created these monsters, and now these monsters have been unleashed. You see, they were able to control this mob during BLM. They were able to direct this mob to carry out their hate campaign against who they wanted to direct the hate towards. But right now, it's backfiring, okay? The prisoners, they're now running the asylum. And these college campuses are being taken over by these activists, if you will. And this is how it happens. It starts off on the college campuses. That's where the ideology starts spreading. And then these protests, these movements, they start on the college campuses, seeing little protests at this college, at that college. Once these colleges start cracking down on the protest, the protesters then, they stop protesting on campus and they move the protest off campus. Oh, this sheriff's department or this police department, participated in shutting our protest down. This police department participated in shutting down our Gaza zone that we set up in the middle of our college lunchroom. Well, guess what? Now we're going to protest outside of the police station. Oh, this mayor is responsible for shutting down our protest on college campuses. Well, guess what? Now we're protesting outside of City Hall. And before you know it, this little problem that you in your mind thought would be contained to college campuses, this problem that you thought was only coming from college kids, is now spilling out on the streets. You have shops being looted. You have people setting businesses on fire. You have people fighting, people getting killed. This is where this is headed. And if you think for 1 second that it's not, you are naive, and you must have forgotten everything that happened with the BLM riots. The BLM stuff started on college campuses. I mean, this is the same exact recipe here. It's the same exact group. They just have, a different reason to fight now. They have they've downloaded the new current thing for them to be angry about. And make no mistake about it, most of these people protesting this stuff, I don't care if you're pro-Palestine or you're pro-Israel, I don't care what side of the fence you're on, most of the people out there in these encampments causing this chaos, trying to take over these buildings at these colleges, most of them don't care about Palestine. And let's just be real. Americans don't give a damn about these foreign countries that much. They can sit here and pretend all day. Americans don't really care. And I don't think people in foreign countries will understand the American mindset. Like, in other countries, you're kind of raised knowing about other countries. You're raised learning other languages and stuff. Over here in America, most people don't give a damn about anything else going on in the world. Okay? What you're seeing right now, all of these people pretending to care, it's because they want a cool selfie. They want to be a part of something. All of the kids who have no parties to go to, they don't have, maybe they're not the cool kids. Maybe they don't have a girlfriend. They're not out here chasing girls. They're not out here with their friends having dinner dates and stuff like that. They have nothing to do, nowhere to go. So they all congregate together and they form these protests. I know most of you all have been in high school. Maybe some of you all were the lame kid in high school, and that's okay. But all of us who went to public school, we know that sometimes the kids who didn't really have friends, they were socially awkward, they would all kind of band together at their own little lunch tables. They would be the goth kids, the emo kids, the outcast. That's what we're seeing here. We're seeing the outcast try to rise up against people who actually have something to do with their lives. And you got a lot of young people who are impressionable. Their parents have raised them with a silver spoon. They're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to send their kids to these colleges, and they're going there and they're being turned into literal terrorists. And it's funny, but it's sad at the same time. I personally, how can I put it? Personally, I partially enjoy everything we're seeing right now, because now the monsters that these colleges have created are turning against them. So that's a beautiful sight to see. And I agree with people's right to protest, but we know where this is headed. We can see the signs. If you've paid attention to what's happened in the past, then you'll have a better understanding of what's happening in the present. And this is the exact recipe that was laid out in the last Summer of Love. We're not even in the summer yet. This is how things start. They're getting heated up. We're starting to see clashes in the street between, one side and the other side. And going into the summer, once the temperature gets a little bit hotter, people start acting even more irrational. So we're going to start seeing this thing heat up, literally and like metaphorically speaking. And headed into the election, I expect full chaos in the streets. And I don't know how many of you all follow me on X, but if you're not, you should be, because what happened at UCLA last night was absolutely insane. I mean, stuff like what we saw transpiring last night at UCLA, this is how civil wars start. And I'm not saying that these protests are going to turn into a civil war, but this is how civil wars start, with little skirmishes like we saw at UCLA tonight, or last night, and probably tonight as well. But there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of fights breaking out, a lot of graphic footage that I cannot post or show you here on YouTube. But I will be extensively covering these protests, throughout the duration of them. If they go on through the summer all the way until November, or however long they go, I'll be covering them. So go ahead and follow me on X if you want to see all of that stuff. But yeah, this is where we're at, folks. It's no longer an if this is going to happen. It's no longer, oh, we're waiting for the summer, or we're waiting until closer to the election for the chaos to break out. No, the chaos is here. And it's slowly been breaking out for a while now, but now it's starting to reach a new level. It's starting to reach a boiling point where I believe we're about to get to the point where these college campuses start cracking down, and that's when you're going to see this movement spill from the college campuses into city streets. And you can think that, oh, you know, I don't live in this type of area, or, you know, the politicians in my area don't do this, do that. Listen, this is going to spill over everywhere. Some states, some cities will respond to it differently, but don't think for 1 second that your area can't be affected, because it can be. So for now, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, subscribe, hit that like button, ring that notification bell. If you would like to donate, you can donate via Cash App or Super Thanks. But always remember to remain opinionated.